Then let's talk about stress. Stress is one of those things that I can talk forever, the impact of stress. If we talk about sleep and stress itself can be a whole day lecture because there's so much research to show about that. Stress is not simply a response to a problem. Stress leads to a cascade of issues, especially when you don't turn it down. Okay, when we're late for something, we have an acute response to stress. That's normal. But imagine you're feeling stressed all day long, chronically, every single day. It will create a lot of issues. One of the issues is insulin resistant. Why? Because that creates the energy imbalances. And I said yesterday is when you look at a person who's relatively thin, not big, but they notice that their stomach protrude out. And I know this sounds very funny. When I was working with my client, I know I shouldn't be looking down, but I'm looking down like the stomach. As soon as I see the stomach protruding out and they start talking about the lifestyle, I start to relate the stress with the abdominal fat. It's not great to gain weight here because it's not that pretty. It's not great to gain weight in the hip because it's not pretty, but the worst is gaining weight in your abdominal area. This is your visceral fat. This is metabolically active. This affects, put you at a high risk for a lot of chronic diseases that we don't want. And this is why when you notice you gaining weight around your abdominal area, you think about sugar, you think about blood sugar, you think about insulin resistant. Then number two, we talk about inflammation. So when you have stress on a long-term basis, yesterday we talk about inflammation with Dr. D. Inflammation also increases what? TNF-A with TNF-alpha as well interleukin 6. So these are all inflammatory marker, right? So when you have this increase, obviously increase inflammation. And long term, when we have a what we call chronic inflammation that's out of control. In fact, I always tell people the chronic inflammation with symptoms are not scary. When you have pain, you know you have pain, you will at least do something about it. It's the silent inflammation that's scary because it's silent, you don't feel it. You don't necessarily have such a bad, ill feeling to do something about it. But every day, the way we live our lifestyle, the way we make choices are contributing to this silent inflammation. And we did not know until one day we went to see a doctor and doctor say, hey, this is not going right. And he was like, oh, but last year I came and everything was fine. Everything was boiling. You know, the 1 degree is different. Everything was waiting. And literally it hit that 1 degree and the water boiled. And that's why it's not happened overnight. It's been happening, but you are not paying attention. And this is why I talk about the 3A, right? The awareness. Then you need to accept it. Then we need to apply the changes, apply the solution so that we see the benefit. And in long term, it leads to a lot of age-related complaint. We talk about here, like pains and nerve. We talk about elevated blood sugar. We talk about elevated cholesterol, elevated triglyceride. We talk about affecting in so many aspects. Then we talk about cognitive concern. High stress really affects your mood, okay? It really affects your memory. Did you know that when you have high stress, you have a short-term memory loss? And people say, how is that so? Just think about when you're stressed. During that time, do you notice that you remember things better or remember things worse? You definitely remember things worse. How many people will go upstairs? Oh, yeah, I need to get the key. Oh, wait, I need to do that. You forgot. And you was like, oh, it must be aging. It's not aging. It's because of so much on your plate, so much stress in combination of poor lifestyle from a diet perspective, from a lack of physical activity, lack of a supplementation to support you, you start to have what we call symptom of aging. And what most people blame is, oh, must be getting old. I'm not remembering things. Then last but not least is mental and cognitive health. This is very important because it interferes. Did you know that when your stress level continues to increase, your cortisol level continues to increase, it interferes with making serotonin. And serotonin is your happy hormone. So when it interferes with that, no wonder you're feeling stressed. No wonder you don't have the greatest mental health. And we are a nation of not very happy people. So when you have a nation of not very happy people, we want to go to the easier route, which is sugar, which is short term, you think it's helping you, but long term is creating a cascade of problem, which I just share with you. So it is a vicious cycle, right? When we have stress, when you think about it, when we have stress, it leads to what? Emotional eating. How many people are stressed and say, you know what? I feel like eating celery. I feel like eating broccoli. No, when you're stressed, you want your ice cream. You want your chocolate. You want your cookie. You want a lot of it. That is the emotional eating, because that gives you that short term of dopamine going up, making you feel good, and you crash and you want it again and again. And this is emotional eating. And this leads to poor lifestyle, because emotional eating to poor lifestyle. And poor lifestyle leads to poor sleep, because when you don't eat well, you don't sleep well. And when you don't sleep well, guess what happened? More stress. So this is not just a vicious cycle. This is a double-edged sword. When you start this, it's almost like it's so hard to break that cycle, but you must break that cycle. And there are ways to break that cycle. And we have the amazing TLS Accel I talked about yesterday. But I need to remind you, at the very least, add activated B complex into your regimen. But why? It's because it's so important promoting from a cardiovascular health. It's very important for promoting a cognitive function. And a lot of people, you say, you know what? Oh, you're stressed. Oh, okay. You know what? Go out for a run. When you're tired and you're stressed, the last thing you want to do is go out for a run. Yes, logically you should, but mentally you don't want to. But when you're taking a B vitamin, which help you produce that what we call healthy level of serotonin, when you take that B vitamin, the B complex, which help you decrease that healthy stress and improve your mood, you suddenly feel better. You say, you know what, maybe I can go out for a walk. So instead of helping people go out for a walk, give them something to support them to making that decision easier. Because anything to make the decision easier, they're more likely to do it. And to that, I really want to say thank you so much. Yes, your gut is your gateway to health, but I always want to add one more thing. What you put in your body is truly your gateway to health. And for that, your blood sugar management is truly your gateway to health. And thank you so much for having me on this virtual stage and sharing with everybody. Thank you and have a great day.